Hey YouTube, it's Appalachian ADV Rider here again with another knife unboxing. So this here is, I had a store credit with a company that I was buying a lot of knives, and they gave you back, a couple of percentage points. And, I've recently stopped purchasing knives because of my situation so but this one I had store credit left over. So I said, let me go and get this knife. This is the only knife, and this is the only knife that I own two of. So I intentionally bought a second one of these knives, and it is the UK PK pen knife, I believe. Pretty sure. So I'm using my native 5 in the Salt series in LC200N to open this package. And so here we go, opening it up. I'm excited to get this knife. This is going to be a knife that, like I said, I already own in LC200N. There was a while there that I was on a kick to get everything rust-proof because I ride a motorcycle and I'm outdoors a lot. And it's not just I'm outdoors, all day. Sometimes I'll be outdoors for, days after day. In fact, I have a longer trip coming up, so multiple days. So no suspense here. You see the title, what this is. So this is a Spyderco UK Pen Knife in S110V. So the other one that I have is in LC200M. So this is the reason why I'm using this knife here, the Native 5, for this unboxing is because this knife in LC200N is a cheaper alternative to that knife. So this is, like I said, the UK PK or pen knife. It is a slip joint knife, so it doesn't have a locking mechanism. There's a groove in the tang of the blade right there. I don't know if you can see it. There's like a ledge, and there's, I think, two ledges somewhere. You can't, and here's another ledge. And this back spacer metal, whatever thingy, it kind of like falls into that groove and gives some resistance. Like you can hear it clicking there, gives it some resistance to go to the next level. Now coming up, there's less resistance. The ledge is really going in this direction. So you hit the ledge there, you hit a halfway mark, and then you go all the way down. So this is a slip joint knife that is, just really not popular in the United States. It's made really for the English market because they're not allowed to have a knife with a locking mechanism in it. So, but why would I take a knife that has very limited appeal to this market, the U.S. market, and buy two of them? Well, one of the reasons is because my store credit was, $100 and change, and this was about the same price. So I think I had to pay like $15 more to get this knife. But so that was one of the reasons, because it was in the budget. But there's a lot of knives in that budget, so to be fair. And this also has the S110V steel, which I like for this form factor. So S110V is a steel that holds an edge for a very, very long time. And it is stainless, somewhat stainless. I'm not really sure, how to, gauge that in relative to, like, let's say 20 CV, but it is stainless. Um, but it's a slicer. This form factor is a very thin blade that has a full flat grind, and it's just a real slicing kind of knife. So to have the S110V is the appropriate steel for this knife. And the other one that I have is of this same knife is in LC200N. It's like their Salt series, and where that knife is in my camping gear. I have a toiletry bag with, my toothpaste and toothbrush inside of this bag and other stuff. And I also include a pocket knife in there. So I always have a knife on me no matter what when I go camping. But so those are some of the reasons why I got a duplicate, like the same knife twice. And because it is steel, um, and whatnot. But I also got it because this is just a great knife. I mean, it's a very lightweight knife that doesn't feel flimsy, unlike some of the material that they make lightweight knives out of. It's got a good texture. The ergonomics on this knife is just spot on. It's not a really big knife. Let's see, how big is it? It's under 7 inches, so it's under 7 inches. It looks greater than 6 3/4, but under seven. And it's thin, but it just falls right into my hand. And I'm a huge fan of this wire clip in terms of how it feels in the hand and how it rides in the pocket. It's a deep carry, pocket clip. It's so lightweight; it just disappears into your pants. And I just wanted another one. Like I said, I have one dedicated to just camping, so I don't use that. I don't ever take it out of that bag unless I'm camping. So I just wanted another one, and it's a pretty cool knife. And this steel S110V should be amazing. Here, I'm going to do a cutting test here. I don't normally do this, but here, this paper is crinkly and flimsy. It's light, so this should have a hard time cutting through this to begin with. But I bet you it won't. Oh, do you see that? Oh, little catch there. But you'd expect it to catch. There's creases in here, and there's all kinds of stuff going on here. But yeah, I love this. This is such a slicey knife with a nice little tip, really light, ergonomic, practical, rust resistant. So what I'm looking for is something to go in my motorcycle jacket. So this might be another knife that only stays in one spot, except that I ride my motorcycle all the time. So it'll be nice to have it in there. And it can get rained on, and I'm not worried about it rusting. I think I could go several days of rain and not maintain this knife and not have to worry about it rusting. It's just basically plastic and a rust-proof steel, and then this other stuff here, we'll find out. Worst case scenario is if these things rust, I can always replace them. It looks like the knife does come apart. I've never taken it apart. So anyway, this is a slip joint. You have to be careful, like if you put a lot of pressure on the top here, you can break that lock. I don't know if you saw that, right? Get rid of this. But essentially, if you choked up on it, if you break it, it's just gonna fall on top of your finger here. Do I ever cut it like this? No. I mean, this is actually an awkward position. So yeah, every time I've used it, I've used it choked up as far as I can remember. It's just a great knife. The Spidey hole is just an amazing, opening system. I really enjoy that. The disadvantage to this knife is it's really kind of like it's not a fidgety knife at all, period. Now this thing gets a little bit easier to, open and close, which is, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, right? The safety of the knife is that little half stop and full stop. So the fact that it gets less clickier is not great, but even the one that I have, it's smoother is all I'm saying. It's still as safe as this probably is, which is, not entirely safe, because you do have the ability to break the lock and have it fall down on your finger. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But this is such a small, lightweight, EDC knife, essentially, that you're going to be using it just for, opening packages and boxes and cutting open, whatever. Just silly little stuff. And it's just going to disappear into your pocket. When you grab it, it's just going to feel really good in the hands. It's just a practical knife. So anyway, in comparison, the only knife I brought to compare it to is this Native 5. In almost every way, these are the same knives. Um, if you look at it here, they're essentially the same exact length. The the steel, the actual tang of the blade is the same exact length, which is 3 inches, and then the sharpening edge, is 2.5 inches on both of the knives. I mean, this is actually just a slightly bit longer, but I mean, essentially they're the same, right? The only difference is this has tiny bit smaller dimensions. It's smaller this way, it's smaller that way, and the knife's a little smaller. But I mean, wow, this feels good, and this feels good too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a great knife, but it's not about this. So this is the, like I said, the UK PK pen knife, great EDC knife, lightweight, easy to carry, awesome steel. The S110V or the LC200N, I think you'll be satisfied with either one of those. So I needed a second one, and it's a Sal Glesser design knife. So I needed another one. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and thank you for joining me and watching the video. And I do have a Facebook page under Appalachian ADV Rider, and a Instagram page under the same name. If you would, please join those. If you have any comments about this, please leave comments below. What other lightweight knives do you think are in the same class as these two, and why do you like them? Okay, thank you for joining me, and I will see you the next time. Thank you, guys.